I've only been tying flies for on and off for about a year now, and I'm still at it. That's why I love flies that only require the most basic materials to tie and only a fraction of my brain to complete. And it's also nice when that fly gets done and I can go throw it and not get snagged on weeds or trees or boats or anything like that. That's why today we're going to be tying the Slop Buster. Let's get into it. Pretty straightforward. You have your bobbin, then you have a pair of scissors you like, and then in my case I have a whip finisher. Then for hooks, you can either use a bend back hook or a gamakatsu worm hook. And then for the shank, pretty much whatever shank you want. Then you have a popper head, which you can find at any local fly store. Then you have some lively legs to give it some action. And then pretty much whatever feather you want to use, as long as it's a feather. Pretty much up to you. And then you can either use glue or UV resin, kind of up to you. But before we get into the video, no, I did not invent this pattern. No, this is not an original tie, anything like that. I actually found this on the internet while I was at work, doom scrolling for fly patterns to throw or fly patterns to tie for bowfin. And I stumbled across this, and it was actually on Field and Stream's YouTube page 8 years ago. So I decided to tie it. I've only caught one little bass on it, but the action on this guy is awesome. It takes maybe 5-ish minutes to tie, but I just thought it was a really nice pattern, and I wanted to make my own video about it so it can get back out there, and hopefully somebody sees this video in 8 years from now and ties this fly and catches a nice fish, and I get credit and we blow up and we get 1 million views. And yeah. So for hooks, I like these bend back hooks right there. I know he used a gamakatsu worm hook, which I used on the first edition that I did. It turned out really good, but I like these bend back hooks. They're basically always going to be weedless, so they go like this. They don't flip up, and they're really fun to tie with. I need to find more patterns to tie with this, honestly, just because it's a really effective little hook. So we're just going to tie this guy on in, put our thread on here, and then there's two options. So you can either do like this one. This was the first one I did, which is a, what is this called? Zonker tail. That's just some zonker tail right there. These little rabbit stripes like that. Camera wants to keep focusing on my face. It's just those little rabbit stripes, zonker tail, whatever you want to classify it as. It can come out like this. And then this is a really simple version. So it would literally just be the hook, that zonker tail, and then you have your little popping head with the little articulated shank on the end of that guy. Really nice, really cool. But I'm kind of going for more of a froggy-ish look. So what I want to do is actually take my little lively legs here. So that's going to be these guys, which I already showed you guys, but I'll show you again because I'm a nice guy. Don't say I never did anything for you. This is going to be that guy right there. And you can just kind of double these over. So you just take it, pinch it like that, and then you just go like this. And what I like to do, to make my life a little easier, is you take it, go like that, you go like this, make a V, and you just go like that, and you're going to hold it with this hand, and then you're just going to tie it in like such. Zoop, zoop, just tie it in. Those legs are just going to chill like that. It's going to give a bunch of action, and I wish I could say that we have a lot more to go, but we really don't. So you can either put a no, this isn't schloppen. These are strung rooster saddles, or you can use your schloppen. For this one, I think I'm going to use the schloppen. So this guy is what I'm going to use. You can also use this guy. I just want to use this guy. That's my reasoning. What we're going to do is just cut these guys down to size. So I don't need this crap. Let that hit the garage floor. Do that. Makes you look like you know what you're doing. And then you're just going to take it like that. So you have both your feathers. And they're both going to be kind of facing out like that. Then what you do is you just take this. And just like anything else you've tied, you're just going to tie that in. And then you are left with something that looks like this. So you're left with something that looks like this. Be left with something like this, and then you just whip finish this off. Hand whip finish, however you want to whip finish it, you do you. You're just gonna do this, get this guy nice and done, go like that. And then just to make it look like you know what you're doing again, just do it again. Just it's a little bit more fancy, you know. You really want to blend in with the fly fishing snobs. You just take that, and you take this guy, cut that, and then that's basically the fly right there. Right there. So you got that guy, you have this, it just looks like that, which looks very unassuming. Like I was saying, you're gonna be left with something that looks like this, very unassuming, doesn't look like it's gonna be much, but you gotta give it a little bit of time now, give it a little bit of time. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go get a popper head, so they look like this. So it just looks like that little guy right there. It's just this black piece of foam. So it's just this black piece of foam right here. But first what you're gonna do is you're going to take your articulated shank. I've been using these Fish Skull Next Generation shanks. I don't know if all shanks are created equally. I think I've said that in the last video. I know Blaine Chocolate makes a shank, which those are probably a little bit higher quality than Fish Skull. Don't know, to be honest with you. These are at my local fly tying store, so pick them up. This is a 20 millimeter shank head, which I don't think is the biggest one that they make. I know it's not the smallest. The smallest is the little tail one that I have up there. The smallest is a 7 millimeter, I'm pretty sure. But what you're gonna do is you are going to take your shank, then you're gonna take what you just tied, and you're just going to, and this is the part that I always get confused, you're going to take this little triangular end right there, the triangular end, the camera picks that up. That, it's on my nose, that little triangular end. And you're just going to simply put that guy, I know I say simply, and then I have my tongue out. You're gonna put that guy on like that, so it's gonna be connected as such. I'll show it to you guys over here. Stop focusing on my sweaty face. So it's gonna look like that right there. And then you put this on your vise. See, he agrees. Mr. Hawk. Hey, Tony. 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 I'm making a video here. Thank you. Goodness. Tony sometimes, man. But how you're going to tie this shank is pretty simple, pretty basic. You're just going to take your thread and you're just going to tie this basically how you would tie anything else. And what you're doing here is you're just making sure that those two ends on the shank just kind of get wrapped together so they can't open up and you don't lose anything, because that wouldn't be fun. That would defeat the entire purpose of catching fish. So you're just going to, it's like the two little shanks like this, and you just wrap the line around that. So then they are joined together. Go like that, go like that, go like this, go like this. And then this is kind of the tricky-ish part. So you take your head and it's gonna have this little slit down the middle like that. So it's gonna open up like, this camera's probably not gonna show it. It opens up like that. And then what you do is you take this guy and you slide it on. You slide it on like such. And this is kind of the tricky part. Then you take your thread, and it's not the easiest thing to do. And you try and make some loops up here with it. If you can make like maybe like 3 or 4 loops, perfect. And then what you do is you basically just try and whip finish it from here. Isn't the easiest thing. A lot easier said than done. Like that, cut it. And then what I have done is just created one of the best weedless flies you'll throw. So for the end, what we're gonna do is you can take your camera focus. You can take super glue and fill in that little crack that you can see right there. You can either take super glue or you can take your UV resin, fill that in, just so that crack doesn't exist, because you don't want this head to slide off in any way. So what I'll do real quick is just probably use super glue. I've used the UV resin and it doesn't work as well. UV resin isn't technically super glue. I don't want to get into that whole thing because it's a nerdy conversation. It's really stupid and it irritates the living daylights out of me. So I'll try and use is just some super glue. if this hasn't already dried all the way up. That's a lot of super glue coming out. Ah! Don't get on me! Q-tip! Q-tip! So I always leave Q-tips in the garage. And we can just kind of work this. And then what you can do, if you never want to hear anybody again or your wife ever again, you can take this Q-tip and you... There, we have it. Our little Slop Buster right there. Really cool fly, really fun to throw. Like I said in the beginning of the video, it's a really hard fly to get snagged on anything, so that's what makes it such a good fly in general. If you just hate getting snagged on trees, logs, sticks, you name it, it's a really good fly. And yeah, I will definitely be tying these a lot in the near future. I'll be modifying it a little bit, making them bigger, possibly making like a little nano or micro version. It's a good little fly. It represents, you name it, a bug, a frog, a toad, whatever a fish wants to eat, this guy will do it. So I hope you guys like this short little... Oh, and my thing, yep. I'm glued. I hope you guys like this short little video. I hope you guys go out, tie one of these flies. If you catch a big fish, you know who to give credit to. Actually, give credit to Field and Stream, who made this video 8 years ago. But other than that, I hope you guys like this video. Comment, subscribe. As always, say yes to fishing. See you guys on the next one. You have a good day. You have an even better day. See you later. See you later. See you. Okay, let me try not to glue myself to the table. Okay, sounds good.